Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, this is 1975's Sudden Fury. From 1975, a Canadian film, and this was released very recently on Blu-ray and DVD by Vinegar Syndrome. This is the back of the DVD Blu-ray set, and it says a riveting and criminally underseen Hitchcockian thriller prolific. NFB short films director Brian Demude's Sudden Fury ranks as one of the finest forgotten films to emerge out of Canada's mid-70s tax shelter era. Folks, 1975 Sudden Fury will make you forget about time all around you as you are watching it for 92 minutes. You will forget about your own breathing, your own heartbeat. The tension is so thick. The story is so complex and twisting and turning and wise and tense that you will forget about everything else. This needs to be talked about more. Sudden Fury. You know, this is a film that, I've never thought about a film like this before, but if you got yourself into a situation legally, or maybe just socially, or, in your own relationship or marriage or something in your family or something at your job or legally, and things are very confusing. The evidence is very confusing. Things aren't lining up well, but you yourself know that you need somehow to prove your innocence. You might want to tell your spouse or your boss or your coworker or the court, the jury, to watch Sudden Fury first. This movie, so simple in its approach, simple in the amount of characters, simple in the location, but using that simplicity, and within that simplicity, a great, unending complexity. And that is really the genius of this film. You have broken relationship. You have greed, hatred, loss, criminal wisdom, selflessness, innocent bystanders, death, murder. The world of wisdom, real wisdom. You think we need wiser officials, we need wiser courts, we need wiser policemen, and we need wiser principals in schools. But what happens when the criminals are wiser? In many regards, there's an utter fascination when you're watching Sudden Fury, because it's almost like a game of chess, where in a game of chess, and even a DJ needs to think 5 steps ahead, 6 steps ahead. A DJ needs to think, 5 songs ahead, 6 songs ahead. The songs keep going, they can't stop. And sudden fury the complexity of the mind and of reality and situations within reality will be so fascinating, and you will be experiencing those 5 steps ahead and the repercussions. And I will tell you, these words are, kind of go around or used a lot. Nail biter, Sudden fury is a nail biter, of the finest degree, of the highest degree. The fact that this film, is not talked about is that's criminal. It's unreal. It really, really is. A very small group of actors and actresses in here, and we have, great acting from all of the characters, because you're going to need that if you have a small group of characters. Just a few props, so to speak. 2 cars. A couple guns. Some blood, a stick, a farm, and the location. The location of desolation in the middle of nowhere, but all within the span of daylight hours. Just a couple hours during the day, all daylight. And despite all this, we also have an amazing side character in this film, who is this old man who works at a gas station. One of the best side characters I've seen, no joke. The dialogue, his disposition, just amazing. Just amazing. He's a delight to watch. Just like this whole movie is. Reality can be very complex. We really do not know what's going to happen from day to day. We can plan, of course, but we don't know what's going to happen truly. We can try to react to those things, but our reactions might be wrong. They might not be adequate enough, because life can sucker punch you and you're not prepared for it, because you're on your way to get ice cream. And Sudden Fury really displays that extremely well. It also displays very well the phrase damned if you do, damned if you don't. Kind of the idea that, when you help someone, that could hurt you. And, it's all the complexity of reality, Just simply wanting to help could be a bad decision. The music in this film, the score in this film, is orchestrated with some piano and some horrific strings, but very dramatic, tense, a bit dark, but also sporadic, and allowing the movie to have a lot of natural sounds from the atmosphere. The farm roads, the wind blowing, the trees. A filled water bucket against a door. You take something simple, and this is what I said before, a filled water bucket up against a door. What could you do with that? Well, Sudden Fury will make that quite complex. One of the main characters in this film is sweating profusely. And you will be too. You will be too. This is Sudden Fury from 1975. Right here. This needs to be bought. This needs to be talked about more. This needs to be seen more. Here it is. The tagline: he tried to save a woman's life and suddenly became the victim. Never quite seen anything like this before in this particular way. But you can see it being within the exploitation genre, but it's also very sophisticated enough that somebody who's not into exploitation films would also worship the film. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like Sudden Fury. Please feel free to check out my own personal films at youtube.com/poopy, Poopy, diarrhea. Thank you so much, and good night.